Hello, my friends. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. Are you ready to learn about another one of Jesus's miracles? It's kind of a classic. I think you've probably heard of it, but it'll be really nice to share the story with you. So what you're going to need today is your Miracles of Jesus book. You're going to need your Miracles of Jesus envelope that has stuff for our art project. You'll need some glue, preferably some that works. You'll need a pair of scissors. You will need some markers. Hold on, I gotta get mine. I have markers. You can use markers, or you can use crayons, or you can use colored pencils. It's kind of your preference. You will also probably need some type of black marker, and I think that's it. And then we'll be ready. Let's begin by opening our books up to this page. You see that? You see this one right here? What is Jesus doing? He's standing on water. That sounds interesting. So we're going to read the story today, Walking on the Water, from the Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 14, verses 22 through 33. Uh-oh, the disciples were back in the boat, but this time Jesus wasn't there. As the night wore on, the sea grew rough and the wind picked up. To add to the disciples' fear, they spotted someone walking on the water right toward their boat. "It's a ghost!" they yelled. Yes, they were grown men, but imagine how you'd feel if you saw someone walking on the water in the middle of the night right toward you. "Take courage," Jesus said. "It is I. Do not be afraid." Now Peter, who always had something to say, called out, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." So Jesus told him to come on out. Peter got out of the boat and began to walk on the water toward Jesus. Wow! But Peter saw how strong the wind was and how high the waves were, and he got scared. He began to sink. "Lord, save me," he called. Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him, saying, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" All of us have storms in our lives, times when we are stressed out, worried, afraid, or in pain. Jesus won't always make the storms go away, but he does ask us to trust that he will get us through them. Remember Jesus' miracles and take courage. Jesus is always at your side. So I was thinking about this story about how Jesus walked on water, which is pretty phenomenal and would be really cool. Like, I would love to walk on water. That would be fun. I've tried it a few times. I sink. But I was thinking about that, and that, Jesus is telling us to have faith in him and that he will help guide us through our storms in our lives. So I was thinking about water, and I was thinking, well, what could we make, as an art project together that would help us remember that Jesus is always with us and that we need to have faith in Jesus and not to doubt. So today I'm wearing one of my favorite necklaces. It's a sea turtle, and actually the legs and the tail, they all move, which is pretty cool. Can you hear it? So I love sea turtles. I love turtles in general. And so I was thinking, well, what other creatures live in the water that would help us think about it? Think about Jesus. So go ahead and find your envelope. Let's open it up and see what's inside. First of all, I have a piece of paper that's sort of like a guide, okay? Can you tell what it is? Can you tell what shape that is? It's a fish. We're gonna make a fish. And in the middle of the fish is gonna be the word Jesus. So that we can think about this fish with the word Jesus in the center of it, and we can think about how Jesus is in the center of us and helping us. And the fish, of course, live in the water, right? Which will remind us of Jesus walking on the water. You should have 4 colored sticks. And hopefully it's still in there. You should have 1 tiny eyeball. Your fish needs an eyeball so it can see. Okay, so what we're gonna do, and I haven't done this yet on my own, so we're gonna do this together. This is a guide in case you need to sort of figure out, well, how do I make a fish with these sticks, right? And so you can line them up with the pattern here, okay? But before we do that, let's take our Jesus and let's color it in. That's what your markers or your crayons or your colored pencils are for. So I'm just gonna color mine in. And normally I would pause the video now and let you do your own coloring, but I heard from some friends that you actually want to watch me color. So let's color together. All right, so I'm choosing orange for my first color because it is my favorite color. So go ahead and just start coloring. I'm gonna color in the J of Jesus, orange. And you can obviously do all your letters this one color if you want. Or you can do a bunch of different colors. I'm gonna do a lot of colors because I love colors and I love to see new things. So I'm gonna use yellow for my next color. For the letter E. So I have J and E. If I didn't know any better, I think I would be coloring in my own name. Jennifer. J-E-N. Obviously, S is next on here, so it's different. It's not Jennifer, it's Jesus. I'm gonna choose blue. Can you guys believe that we're in March already? Isn't that crazy? I know. Pretty soon it'll be spring. I'm okay with that. I like spring weather. I like it when it gets warmer. I've had some fun in the snow. Don't get me wrong. But I also like it when it gets warm, and I like it when the flowers start popping up and the trees start budding and things go from sort of brown to green. That's a good time for me. Also, my birthday is in the spring. Okay, the next letter, which is the biggest one on here, is U. I'm gonna go with red. I want to thank some of you for coming to Children's Time recently. We had a Zoom meeting on a Sunday right before church, and I got to see a lot of you and talk to you and see what was going on in your lives, and that made my whole week, let me tell you. Because if there's anything I miss about this pandemic, it's you guys. Okay, I've got one letter left. I got another S. I'm going to go with green for my last one. Okay, so mine's all colored in. See, it's different colors. It's kind of fun. And if you're not done coloring, that's okay. Go ahead and pause this video, and then when you're done, press play again, okay? So now what we're gonna do, and I hope this works, guys. I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna put it down on my table here. And I'm gonna match up my sticks to what's lined up on the paper, so I have an idea of how to make the fish. And that's where I'm gonna bring the glue into this picture. Glue. And I'm gonna glue the sticks together. And I'm gonna pray that it works, right? Like, who knows? Plus, it might take some time for you to like let your glue settle. And that's okay, by the way. So if you have to like, again, if you have to pause this video because you're waiting for your glue to dry and your fish to get stable, that's okay. I'll still be here when you press play again. That's what's kind of cool about these videos. So I'm pressing down on mine so that the glue and the wood stick together, hopefully. So you can go ahead and do that too, if you want. If you need some help, just go ask your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister or your aunt or your uncle or your grandma or your grandpa, whoever's around to help you. And then I'm going to press even further down because I just put my other stick on. And I'm gonna push, push, push. And I'm gonna let those do their thing. And so I'm a little nervous about picking mine up. You know that? Because I don't think it's dry yet. So I think I'm gonna let it dry for maybe a couple minutes. And then I'll come back to it, I guess. On this, I guess what you're gonna wanna do, well, it depends on how, I think I might use some tape. Well, no, I guess I could use my paper. Guys, I'm just gonna try this and see what happens. I don't even know if it's gonna work. So I've got my fish like this, right? It's all glued on. And then you're gonna take this guy and you're gonna put it down like that on top of that hole, right? And I'm gonna glue it there. So I'm gonna glue it there and see what happens. I love trying new stuff with you guys. I'm not even sure how this is gonna come out. I guess I'm supposed to have faith, just like Jesus said. Do not doubt, right? I know. Kind of makes sense now that I think about it. So I'll show you where I put my glue here in a second. All right, so I went and put glue like that, and then I'm gonna put my piece of paper on top of it. But I'm gonna put my, with the Jesus down so that I'll see it through the other side. I hope. Gently, 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 gently. I think I'm realizing we haven't done an art activity yet with glue, have we? I don't think so. We've used a lot of tape and maybe a stapler once or twice. I can't remember. Okay, guys, I'm getting nervous, but I'm gonna try it, see what it looks like. Okay, it worked. All right, I could probably scooch my J over a bit. That there. So you gotta kind of make sure it's, so now it says Jesus, but my guy needs an eyeball. So I better get an eyeball on there. I'm not even sure. I guess I'll put his eyeball here. I don't even know. Where does an eyeball go on a fish? There I go. Whoa, there's a lot of glue around my eyeball, guys. All right, hold on. Ta-da! There's my Jesus fish with an eyeball with a lot of glue. But when the glue dries, you won't be able to see it. It just dries clear. So you should have something that kind of looks like this. And remember, I said, like, if you need to let yours dry first before you start adding other things to it, that's okay. Take your time, right? And so what I want you to just remember is that Jesus loves you. And Jesus is always with you. And Jesus will help you through the hard times. Keep this fish somewhere nearby. Maybe put it on your nightstand next to your bed. Are you doing the challenge for March that I put you guys on with the sticky notes? I sent everybody home some sticky notes so that you could pray once a day and put it up on your wall. Today is March 1st. So how about I pray with you? I got some sticky notes here. Today I'm praying for my cat, Pop. His name is Pop, P-O-P. And he's not well. He's not feeling well at all. He's kind of sick. So I'm praying for Pop that maybe he'll feel better soon, because he's definitely a member of our family. And we love him very much. And we want him to be healthy and happy. So I'm excited that you spent some time with me today hearing a story about Jesus walking on water, making a super cool Jesus fish, maybe doing one of your own Post-it note prayers. And as always, I love you and I miss you. Have a really great day.